All right, now let's get the latest. We cross to our reporter, Canny Maphanga. Canny, good afternoon to you. So just give us a summary of what was argued in court today by both parties.
Well, good afternoon to you, Anati, and to the viewers at home. From what we've seen in the scenes inside the KZN High Court Division sitting in Durban is that this matter over the battle of the heart and soul of uMkhonto weSizwe is far from over. This as the ANC has now turned back to the court of first instance, that is the KZN High Court in Durban, to seek leave to appeal that April 2024 judgment that dismissed with costs its bid to prevent this newly formed political party from using the uMkhonto weSizwe name and logo. Now, you know, this stems from the March case, which we saw prior to the 2024 national and provincial elections. Those are the critical elections that we saw. We saw the ANC arguing that the MK party was unduly benefiting from the legacy of uMkhonto weSizwe, which they argue is theirs. Now, the history of uMkhonto weSizwe is known to all. That is the now disbanded former military wing of the ANC that fought in the liberation struggle, contributed quite greatly and significantly to the constitutional democracy that we enjoy today as South Africans. And of course, the ANC wants to claim that heritage as its own and bought that application. But the context that we saw in March was prior to those hotly contested May polls. And we've seen that uMkhonto weSizwe then emerged from those 2024 national and provincial elections as the third biggest political party in the country. However, now that we are out of those elections and we've emerged out of these elections with those results, citizens may be asking what is the importance of asking this question now, as this matter may now be moot. But the ANC is arguing that for as long as they enjoy that name and logo, that the infringement continues. So they're asking the court to further issue that leave to appeal so that they can argue before at least a full bench of the KZN High Court or the SCA on the true issue, which they're arguing is intellectual property. And they're stating that due to the period in which they brought that application, their cause of action was misrepresented as a case about voter confusion, when in fact they're arguing that this is a case about intellectual property. So we know judgment was reserved in this issue. We can see two scenarios coming up. If leave to appeal is denied, that is not the end of the matter, because they can still appeal to the SCA against that denial of that leave to appeal, if that is the case. If leave to appeal is granted, then you can expect perhaps a full bench of the High Court or at least the SCA to ventilate on this issue. But we know, Unati, the April 2024 judgment goes into great detail about the grounds upon which the ANC could not succeed in trying to infringe or interdict the use of uMkhonto weSizwe, the name and logo, by the MK party. Of course, the MK party has vehemently opposed this latest bid for leave to appeal by the ANC, stating that it is a quote-unquote hopeless case, and adding to the court that because they brought it as an urgent application, once the court decided that urgency was not there, that was the end of the matter. And if the ANC wants to introduce new facts into this hotly or contested case or highly important matter, then they have to launch a new application, as this matter and the facts surrounding it have already been dealt with in quite great detail by the KZN High Court Division.
And Canny, I'm glad you painted that picture. Just outside of the court, just talk to us about who actually was there, attended the case from both parties. We do, of course, understand that the ANC, NEC leaders are meeting this weekend, to the weekend, and of course they have other, important engagements that they're having, including their lekgotla. But who attended essentially from the ANC and the MK party?
Well, absolutely, Anati. As you stated, the ANC is quite occupied with its senior structures meeting up until Sunday. But we did see some members of the MK, including its leader, former President Jacob Zuma, attend that matter. A very brief hearing, a couple of hours until judgment was reserved. Of course, we were expecting some supporters to show up. However, that was not the case, as we've seen in the previous election period. And we now are waiting the judgment to be delivered in this case. Of course, the judge has reserved judgment, and we'll wait to see whether, or where rather, this battle for the heart and soul of uMkhonto weSizwe goes in the future.